By drunk drivers. Too often, we see the aftermath, yet we don't always see the victims who survived these crashes. This morning, we want to introduce you to a very special young man, Victor Graywall, whose life, along with his family's, was forever changed by a drunk driver 30 years ago. Victor, thank you for being here and sharing your story. We actually have a picture of your family before the crash. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. So take me back, if you would. You were only 5 years old when basically your whole life changed.
Yeah, this picture was taken 2 weeks prior to the car crash. So just 2 weeks.
And your whole family was in a vehicle in Missouri and was hit by a drunk driver. Tell me a little bit about what happened to you and your dad, especially. You both sustained the worst injuries.
Yeah, so our family and I were driving, and then my dad was driving the car, and the drunk driver ran through a stop sign, didn't stop, and drunken on drugs. Marijuana was a choice of drug, and he ran through a stop sign and hit all of us. He totaled my car, and then all of us were left injured. But my dad became paralyzed and could no longer walk the rest of his life. He spent 1 year in the rehab and suffered immensely. And I ended up with a traumatic brain injury, in the coma for 2 months, and the rehab for 7 months.
And you were confined to a wheelchair for some time.
Well, I was confined to a wheelchair, but then I slowly regained my strength, and then I'm able to walk and everything. So,
yeah. Can you talk to us a little bit about growing up with these limitations? What that was like for you?
Well, I didn't like to have all these limitations, and then I was limited in my walking, running, playing. I was unable to play with kids who were my age, so I would just look at them outside of my bedroom window and feel secluded. But then I would try to fit in, but I would get hurt because I would fall down. So I was sad and lonely, and my only friends at that time were my stuffed animals. So I had no friends, and then but that's why these days I treasure and value my friends, especially my friend Jervin, Taya, Joshua, and Joanna. Very nice friends.
Well, shout out right there.
I love all of you. Thank you so much.
You've made it your
Paul
life's mission to educate people about drunk driving. Tell me a little bit about that, if you would.
Yeah, I now go to schools, churches, the DUI MAD panel. I talk to 300 DUI offenders a month at the Vista Courthouse and tell them my story, how life was before the car crash to how life is after car crash, and let them decide which life they would like to have. And I hope they would like to have my life before the car crash of the time I was in the car crash.
Do you feel like it makes a difference? Do you feel like you're making an impact when you talk to them?
Yeah, I do, because lots of time afterwards I would see them in the grocery store. They would give me a hug and everything, and they would say, "Oh, Victor, your story is so touching, and we'll never drink and drive ever again." Wow. So I'm like, yeah. So I think it does make a difference.
You also participate in the teen driving 5K at Moonlight Beach.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. And this year it's at the San Diego Academy, and I'm gonna do that next Wednesday. And I just talk to all the students, and then just have them know that it's not right to drink and drive before they start drink and drive. So I've been doing that for 3 years now. Once a year I go and talk to all of them.
What do you want to say to people? We've got Memorial Day weekend coming up. This is a big party weekend. There's going to be a lot of people on the roads. What do you want to say to people that are maybe planning on attending a barbecue or a beach party or whatever, and then getting behind the wheel?
I just say that don't risk it. You know, a cab is much cheaper than DUI, and much less. It won't affect your emotions if you hit somebody or ruin their life afterwards. So just take the cab or a designated driver, but don't drink and drive.
How are you now? You are, we're looking at pictures right there of some aftermath. How are you now? You're paralyzed on one side of your body.
Oh, yeah, the left side of my body is paralyzed, so I limp, and my left hand doesn't work properly. So.
But you can take some steps without limping,
right? I can take 13 steps without limping, which took me many years of practice to do that, because I wanted my mission in life was kind of like to be like other people. So I wanted to walk like them and act like them. So I started to practice walking, and then I was able to take 13 steps without limping. So
Victor, I asked you when I sat down if you're angry at the person that did this, if you're angry in general that this happened to you, and you told me no.
no, I choose to forgive, because forgiveness is the only way to a good life, and the only way to finding peace and happiness. So you can't hold on to resentment and be happy. And I'm a happy person.
Victor, thank you so much for being here and for sharing your incredible story.
You're welcome.
You're
My
very
pleasure.
brave, and we appreciate what you do.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Okay, so once again, we want to tell you to stick around, because after the break, we're going to actually have a panel of experts with some key ways that you can save your own teen driver from getting into or causing a horrific crash. Raul, incredible story.
Incredible.
If that is a movie, I don't know what will.
Yeah, I'm telling you, great stuff. Thank you, Eric. At 9:18 now, still ahead here on Fox 5, we are learning more about